Okay, so here we are at our Chen class. We'll work on some fundamentals again. I would like us to work a little bit about our hip movement and our posture. So to start, let's always just start with good posture. So I'm going to show you a little tool I use sometimes. Basically a long pole, long stick. And sometimes you can get a sense of your posture from your relationship with the stick, right? So if I hold the stick here, and I can just get a sense of what it's like. So you can use the stick to help you. Hold the chin in. Take the tip of the shoulder blade. You know, for some of us, the tip sticks out, so bring it in. Pull the chin in, the back of the neck long here. I like to wear my Nike hat, so. And just work with that a little bit. Okay, and you just switch hands. So before we go into movement, let's get our good posture. Okay, that is the foundation of all movement. So good posture. All right, I'll put the stick away now. Okay, so we have our good posture. We do a bit of breathing and stretching first, and then we go a little bit of mobility. Inhale up. And exhale down. As you exhale down, imagine expanding the body. Okay, so it's kind of a reverse. Sometimes when we exhale, we think of contracting the body, but inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. And pull a little bit back, open up the shoulder joint. All right. Let's work on pulling the ball. Ready? Inhale, turn the hip, turn the hip. Turn the hip back, drive with the back hip here. Imagine the hips open. Turn the hip. Exhale. Turn the hip. Exhale, and then let the hips open up. Feel the feet into the ground. Get that connection between the feet and the hips and the knee. Inhale. Inhale up. Exhale down. Lengthen the spine. Hold chin in. Okay, remember that stick. Okay, ready? And one. Okay, so really important thing about this one is like, as I turn, don't arch the back end. You just want to keep your spine neutral and just turn from the thoracic spine. Inhale, exhale. Keep the hip, you can keep the hips facing forward. If you need to turn, then go ahead and turn the hip, because that will help you turn the lower, then the lower back will just follow. Okay. So I like to change a little bit of our shaking. So we're just going to do just bouncing, just with the hands. So we could just try this. So let me just show you the hands. I'm just going to let the hands relax. I'm just going to bounce slightly on the heel. Keep the chin in. Good posture. You can go up. They used to make the Toyota. I don't know if they still do. The people who work for Toyota had to do this every morning. Okay. Bounce. Just relax. You don't need to bounce for it. Okay, let's work with the hands. This is how we just do open, close. Close. Open, close. Open, close. Open, close. And let's do a little bit of our hand work here. Pull. 1, 2, 4, 6. You can do a gentle stretch. 1, 2, not too long. Then there's the other way. Some people need this way. Some people need the other way more. Okay. And you can also do one of these if you like. Okay. Let's work with the hip. Okay, so roll, it's like rolling the hips around. I'm just gonna roll the hips. Roll the hips like figure 8. Like rolling the hips. Really get into the hip joint. Knees are soft, but knee stays in line with the foot. And then see if you can go roll the hips the other direction. Working on our hip mobility. We'll make sure we do some swings too. All right, let's work a little bit of hamstring stretch. So 1 foot forward. You can have the foot flat. You could try this one. Okay, requires a little bit more core strength. It's nice and easy. Strengthen the front leg. Weight on the back heel. So don't have your knee forward. Put the weight on the back heel. So you feel the stretch here. Okay, come up gentle. Come out the other way. Okay, come up. All right. You ready? And then we're going to make sure we rub our back. Good rub. Okay, ready? Let's do a few swings. So let's start with just up and down, and then we'll go around. Okay, up and down. And you can just sink gently. Keep the chin in, right? So don't do this. Keep the body straight. 1, 2, and just relax down. 1. Feel the weight of the body hit the ground. Feel the weight of the body, and then the body bounces up on its own. And just kind of be a little sensitive. Now, if you don't feel it, that's fine. But just notice if there's like a little, it's a kind of like a slight, it's really subtle, a slight impulse back up. 1, 2, good. 3, 4. Let's do our swing. So we can have feet even. Just to start, moving the hip. So want to move the hip, keep the body upright. Look in the mirror. So we don't want to do this. Keep the body upright. Okay, we can let the feet out now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap, tap. Remember those shoulder blades, the tip, bottom tip of the shoulder blade, keeping you up. Breathe. Okay, and let's try back foot down. Different hip rotation. Okay, a little bit of knee and ankle. Okay, just one. Sometimes in more warm up, you might need more warm in the Chen because it's a Tai Chi form that requires a little bit more mobility, a little bit more movement. And that is part of this learning process, is to from large movements to small movements. So Yang style is actually, I think, kind of like a refinement of the Chen style because the movements are so subtle. Circling. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. So my Chen teacher in Beijing, Master Zhang, he always started with the foundational circle. So we'll go ahead and get you guys going on that. Foundational circles here. All right. So we'll do a forward stance. Well, forward to you, I guess. You could start either side or just mirror me. It's up to you. All right. So let's find our hip. So let's get that sense of the movement in the hip. Hands move with the hip. Okay, so you can put your hands right in the middle, move your hip. The hands are not going by themselves. 1, 2. Get into the hip, feel the leg. Now try to relax. And relax is not sometimes a good word. Just feel the weight of your body into the legs. Okay. Hands move with the hip. So if you want, you can just maybe just do this with the hip. Okay, before we start anything. All right, let's do this, the fundamental circle thing. So here's your hand in front of your hip, and you're just gonna circle. So you're gonna aim the hip, aim it the other way. Aim the hip, and then circle. Okay, so I'm gonna circle. Right now I'm making it clockwise, a clockwise oval. Keep the hand, you can keep the hands in the same place. So don't necessarily try to reach out, just have the hands follow the hip. Just to get this idea. Hands follow the hip. Okay, we'll reach out a little bit later. Just get that idea. Okay, just relax the shoulders. Remember the shoulder blades, the bottom tip of the shoulder blade triangle. Keep that in. Okay. Take the tension out of the fingers, but have some thought into that they're working. So now let's go a little bit deeper. So what I'm doing is I'm going from one leg, turning the hip, making the hip place the weight on the leg. As I turn the hip, the weight goes to the other leg. Okay. And the legs help me by pushing off the ground. I want to feel my weight into my feet. As I put the weight in, imagine the ground pushes me back the other way. Okay. Get the arms relax a little. Give them a little bit more freedom. And we can go the other way now. Body upright. Remember the shoulder blades, chin in. Let's do the just up and down circle. So here we're just flexing the hip joint. This is called flex. And then we extend the hip joint so that when they open, it's called extension. The concept is when you flex something, the joint closes, like I'm flexing my arm. So I'm closing the joint. And when I extend, I open the joint. Okay. So I'm going to flex the hip joint, extend the hip joint. Hands relax. Hands rise with the body. then they just kind of settle out and sink with the body. Okay, push off the ground with the feet, sink into the ground. Feel the ground respond to you by trying to push you back up, and kind of see if you can have a sense of as you sink and it pushes you back up and you ride along that push. It's a bit of imagination, right? But you can feel a little bit of different. You can feel how the feet respond differently. Okay, one important thing, don't push the hip, so keep the hip back. Okay. In the Chen class, in Chen, this requires a lot of lower body strength. Okay, a lot of lower body flexibility. You can use this class to improve your yang style. Okay, so it'll give you a lot of strength, so you can do the form even slower to build up your strength. Hands relaxed. Maybe feel a little bit of warmth in the hands now. Right? Keep the body upright. Okay, let's come up and shake it off. You can do a little bit of shaking if you like. Okay, one more circle. So it's only 3 fundamental circles, and there are other circles more complicated. We'll just do the 3 fundamental circles. Then we'll do some silk reeling. But then you'll see from those 3 fundamental circles where the silk reeling comes from. So, okay, so remember, hips, hands, hips, hands. Okay, feet power the hip. Knees stay in line with the feet. Now you can go ahead and move if you need to move your feet, go for it. So we're just going to make a clock. Okay, and I keep the hands right here. So they're not here or here. They're like right here. It's a very small circle. Shoulders relax. Hands just follow the circle of the body. If I'm going this way, my hips have to turn this way. If I go that way, the hips turn that way. Okay. So the hips are like the steering wheel of your body. Spine straight. Relax the arms. You can let them fall, come up. Keep the fingers open. That gives a little bit of intention in the hand. Right. Now we want the body to be strong, but not stiff. Okay. You push the tongue against the upper palate. The front part of the tongue is up. It helps you with the strength of your posture. Let's go the other way. Make sure that when I come down, the hips and my glutes, they feel like they want to spread to give me more of a base. Might come up. And the hips are still kind of having that spreading feeling, but now they're really spreading down. So it helps me keep my knee in line. So I'm not doing this, right? Feel the legs. You can just slide the hip across if you like. Then come up, relax the hands. So feel like the legs are lifting the hands up. Good. Okay, and we could just shake it out. Bouncing. Bouncing is kind of nice. There's this guy, Dr. I think his name was Frauhoff. He was a Qigong Chinese medical professor at the National College of Naturopathic Medicine in Portland. He did a lot of this type of Qigong work. Okay. All right. Okay. So we'll just loosen that up because we're going to do more of it. Okay, so now we'll do some more of the, more of the form-specific movements. Just So I'm gonna put one hand on my hip so I can, you put this here just so you can just get that sense of that hip moving, right? Hand is here. Now here's the relation of my hand to my body. It's not completely here, it's ahead. Okay, so maybe I'll do this angle. And I'm gonna drop, again with the hip, again with the turning. I don't let the knee cave in. I want to keep my knee stable. I'm going to learn to use this move here. One. And we'll do a couple of yang style movements and we'll show you kind of how they relate to. Okay. And we'll just work on a couple of movements from the Chen form. Definitely the beginning. So I want to show you this. So my hand is not going like this. I'm not doing this. Okay. I want to relax, turn my hip a little, just very slightly. Okay. The amount of turn is limited by like how I place my feet. If I want to turn my hip more, I got to turn my feet more. Okay. Just keep track of time. We'll have a short class that is like 45 minutes. Just relax the hand. Let's get the fingers involved. Turn the wrist. Okay. You put your hand on the center, just below your belly button. Get a sense that's moving. Do a barber pole. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Now here, when I come down, relax your arm. Feel, just let it go, but just control the descent. Okay. Use your leg to lift the hand. Like if something heavy, use your leg. One. Okay, let's switch. Okay. You might find one side better than the other. Remember the posture, remember the shoulder blades. It helps you prevent you from hunching. But any way you can think. And when I come down here, I really need to have my hips open. So I don't let, if this is kind of tough, you can just go a little bit closer, just stand a little bit taller. Okay. Pushing off the weight from one foot, pushing it back to the other, pushing it out back open. So push one, push the other way with the front foot. Two, put your hand on the center. Keep the butt back. Keep the butt back. You can let the foot move. I'm going to show you how it actually is more comfortable this way. You can let the foot move and move the feet. So get a little bit more of that hip rotation, a little bit more hip mobility. Okay. All right. Let's shake it out again. We'll try two hands at once, then we'll try a couple of the push movements. And we'll definitely work on their version of the brush knee. Okay. All right. Okay, let's try two hands at once. So like in Tuesday's class, we talked about like you're passing one thing to the other. Like I'm going to have something here, I'm going to pass it and just bring it over. Okay, Chen is a little bit more stylized. It has a lot more of this type of really coming over here and then out. But in the sense, it's very similar to Yang style. But let's get the Chen flavor of it. So it's a lot more hip movement. We won't do the stepping, okay? So right now we're just building our foundation. Okay, good posture. Now you could feel how if you have if you hunch over, right, you can feel how you can, where the body wants to be straight, right? So if you hunch over, you can feel like you're going to fall over. If you sit back, you feel like you'll fall back. Okay, so we just want to keep it straight a little bit and push this back here and keep the low back neutral. So we're not tucking under. Actually, that doesn't feel good, right? Tucking on. Just keep it nice and neutral. Okay. All right, ready? So we're going to try the cloud hands version. Just relax the shoulder and then 1, okay, 2. And this comes up to here and it goes across like this. So it's slightly different than the yang style. And then it comes up to here and I'm going to turn my hip. Let's turn our feet too. So you get the idea. So turn your feet, turn your feet, turn your feet. So get your hip, you can just kind of get a sense of getting your hip more involved in this movement. There you go. As you go from side to side, notice how much you're loading this leg. You're loading this glute. Okay, I'm loading into the hip. Okay, and then up here, 1. Okay, I'll have to explain to you why this is a lot more of this type of here. So up to here, a little bit closer for you guys. Here, out, here, out, here, out, here, out. My hip is still, my hip is, sometimes they say it's sitting, but it's not collapsing, okay? It's like I relax my hip. I relax this space into the ball of my pelvis. 1, 2. And feel how you drive from one leg, you load one side, and then drive off to the other side. And the Chen Style that this is an attack. Okay, 1. Keep my shoulders down, keep the shoulders down. We're not doing this. Okay. Look where you're going. Use your hip and legs. Feel the push and pull on your legs. Make sure you keep your butt back a little bit and see how that changes where this butt muscles are being activated. Okay, let's inhale. Then we'll go ahead and do a little bit of stepping with this. So I'll just use this, I think it's a 3x4. I was going to get a longer one, but I don't know if I would be fit in the camera. Okay, so we can just take shorter steps. 1. Okay, so there's a step behind and a step in front. Okay, so in the Chen form that I know, it's the step behind. Come back, I'm going to step behind my front foot, root it, come out. Okay, and I'm going to step behind my front foot, root it, root the foot, come out. Let me see if I could maybe try to create more space or drill it some more. Okay. All right, ready? So 1, step behind, come out. Okay, we can just change directions. Step behind, come out. Step behind, come out. Step behind, come out. Okay, let's change directions. step behind, root. So the leg that comes out, this back leg has to root you, so you can pick up the leg and step out. Okay, back leg root, step out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just a step in front. 2. A step in front. 2. And then you can do the traditional, this step. Okay, when you step this close like this, you got to come out, you know, in terms of, you can't like keep a very small posture like that, by the way. You can really get deep into the hip joint here. Okay. Okay, so you can go 1, 2. You can just work in just the stationary version. Okay. Let's do the brush knee. I also looked at the punch, so we'll do the brush knee and the punch. There's some, you know, other, they have some fun things here, but, and then we'll look at the opening of the form. Okay, so let's just do the brush knee. And let's learn how to get into the brush knee. So in Yang style, we start with white crane spread wings. Same idea. Okay, so, but we have a little bit more expressive twist. Okay, so I really have to depend on this joint here. And I need to learn how to just, you know, find the edge, not go past my edge of the knee joint and the foot. And then I'll step in, and then I'm going to come in, and this hand's going to come out. It comes out. So it's not this way, it's a little bit forward. Okay, so let's just try from here. So I'll go palm out, then palm down, and then carve an S, and then 1. Okay, come back, carve an S. If you really get into your legs, you can go low if you like. 2. Let's try the other side. Okay, palm out, palm down, carve an S, and then step out. They don't do the other side in Chen style. So it's gonna be hard for me to work this stuff. Okay, so ready? Palm up, palm down, 1, carve an S. Okay, and we can just do, actually this is probably easier. Just 1. We'll just do a few on this side. Feel the leg. Now you can go at your own pace if you like. Notice how I change. 2. Into my hip, into my hip. I'm just going to try the other way now. Okay. Important thing is the lower body makes the movement. Let the hands relax, have them follow along. The strength of the hands and the upper body comes from the legs. So don't try to tense the hand up, because that will block the strength coming from the legs. Okay. 2. All right, let's inhale. Okay, so let's work a little bit of the beginning form. I will face this way. Okay, remember, here's another good thing, although not everybody necessarily depending on where you're at with your posture. Take your stick. Okay, so low back, thoracic spine, back ahead. Okay. Some people have so much of this, it's really hard for them and they have to kind of, and see if you can just stretch into that. They'll like stick their chest out, so you can just be natural. All right. Let's go with the form. I'll give you like kind of a slightly angled view. I think that would work best. All right, ready? So let's breathe. Get into the legs, feet into the ground, feet into the ground. Okay, feet into the ground, feel the ground support you. Feet into the ground, feel the ground support you. Okay. Just kind of, if you even wiggle the toes, feel the balls of the feet into the ground, the heel into the ground. Okay, first move, draw yourself into the ground. Draw yourself into the ground and look off to the corner. Okay, so just relax, hands relax. You're engaging something, you lead it along, and then send it back. Okay, keep the body upright. And then it's pushing back, so I'm gonna lead it along. So think of leading things along. I'm gonna turn my hip. Okay, step in. 1. I'm gonna do the push. So yang style has a push, right? This push is kind of around and then forward. Okay, so let's do a couple. Up, down, forward. Let's step back a little bit. Up, forward. And then here's the first move, 1. Okay, good posture is required for this, good core strength. Don't pull the foot back so much, just have the foot hang and then just drop it. Next move. So this is like a circle. So you're gonna go counterclockwise to like 1 o'clock, and then clockwise to what, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Then open all the way to 12. So think of this as white crane swing, and then pull up. Left foot is in the ground. Okay, the ground supports me. Step out, heel first, and then settle into your hip. Okay, like that. Okay, so 1, boom. Very stable, boom. Boom. Okay, next move. And open. As I open, feel like you settle in. Okay, so let's try that again. So here, 1, 2, 3, 1. So you open, expanding the body, feet into the ground. Pull the right knee up. Step in, change the weight. Boom. Like you drop a heavy weight. Then open, inhale, exhale, and settle the weight again. And we'll work a couple of these next. 1. We'll just do a couple of these. 2. Okay, let's go from 3. Palms face each other, up, elbow down, and out. Palms are like this. Back of hand, back of wrist to back, or back of palm to front wrist, back of front wrist. Okay, feel the weight change. Weight change, shifting the weight over, turning the hips, turning the feet. Remember, shoulders good. Pull the chin in, relax the elbows. Right, relax the elbows. Feel the weight now and relax the shoulders. And then we're just gonna come here and we just get to single whip. Okay. Now I've kind of changed this a little bit because it's kind of a fun way to do this. Just roll the right hand over and the left hand comes over from the back. And 1. And we'll just do single whip. 2. Okay. So that's single whip. Let's do that sequence a few times. Okay, so we'll start from the beginning. You know, if you're used to yang style, you can start this way. Okay, the first move. 1. Push. Feel into your hip. Feel into your lower body. Lower body strong, supports the upper body. So the upper body can be mobile and relaxed. Shoulders down, elbow down. Up 1. Up 2. And then relax. Okay. So remember, we're doing a half a circle to 1 o'clock. Come back to 6. Go to 11. All the way up to 12. Think white crane stretch wings. And then imagine you're chopping. Step in. Boom. Weight down. Okay. Continue the weight across. And then boom. And then relax. 1. We're going to do a little bit of tease. This is like a little tease. And then relax. Weight down. Boom. And pull it back. So you have the weight was down. Boom. And it bounces up. 2. Inhale. And we can just work this circle. Just going to get relaxed and make it work with the hip a little bit. And then we'll come out with a hook. So 1, 2. Look left. Okay, single whip. So you step in, shoulder, pull back, open. Let me show you this single whip as I come back, as I do the hook. I step in, I'm going to slide my body weight. I'm not leaning. I'm just going to slide my body weight and then turn my hip a little and turn my hip out and settle into the center. And relax. Feel the legs. Feel the hip open. Spreading apart, taking up space. Okay. Now from here, we can just go back to the beginning. And probably that's where we'll go maybe to the first brush knee. So this is the beginning, right? 1, 2. We're going to do our up to 1 o'clock, down to 6, to 11, to 12. Open. This time we take a shorter step. Okay, 1. Weight down, weight in, relax. And here's a little, kind of a little white crane stretch wings, but a little bit more expressive. Okay, so Master Mahang, you said like you create an S shape. And then we go 1. Okay. 2. Okay. Inhale. Double check your posture. Double check your posture. Where are your feet? Settle into the body. Okay, let's breathe. And finally, let's just review a little bit of the punch. Okay, because the punch happens a lot. And then we'll just finish class. Okay, so when you punch, you don't use your arm. Okay? It's like in all of this, you use your arm, but you don't like throw with your arm. Like, I don't do this. Okay. So here's your foundation. We can just take a more open stance. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and the punch is at the same angle as your hip. So my hip is this way, I punch this way. But here the hip is open, so I'm going to punch open. Okay. I'm going to try to relax the weight down both legs. Keep my spine straight. You can feel a sense like of a triangle, like your tailbone's creating part of the triangle. Okay. So let's just practice 1. And instead of just throwing it straight from the shoulder, it's like just relaxes down and just kind of whips up. Okay, so 1, and it just comes up. 2. So think of your hip. It's just this hip thing. Okay, the arms just follow the hip, just relax. 1, come back. 2. Notice I keep my shoulders down still. Okay, so 1, 2, hands here, and relax. 1, 2. You can use the left hand like as a little guide to where the punch is going to go. Okay. I shouldn't call it a punch because then you'll think about punching. So hands kind of go 1, and they kind of go like this. And it's powered by the lower body. Okay, powered by the lower body. Okay, so the technique is like you come in, power the lower body, go and release it. Okay, you need to go and release it because you need to do the next thing. So you can just work a little bit, and just nice and slow. 1, go, release it. Go. Let me get in the right alignment. 2. Look where my hips are doing. 3. Okay. I don't torque my spine. My hips control my spine. 2. Okay, just for the sake of balance, just try the other side. Because the Chen only punches with the right hand in the form. So okay, so it's from here 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2. It's like you lift the fist up instead of punching straight. So let's try from the outside 1, 2. Okay, from the outside, and we could just alternate. 2, 3. All right. Okay, so those are some ideas to practice. Really work on the tilt glute and the leg strength. That would probably get you farther along than trying to punch people out, right? Okay. Do a little bit of qigong. You did a lot of work here. Your legs and hips should be pretty tired now. Okay, work on your posture. Okay, so let's make sure we got our posture before we do the qigong. Okay. Work on our posture. Relax the shoulders. All right. Great. Thank you very much. We will hopefully see you next time.